Welcome to A Year in the Bible with Daily Grace. The Bible tells one big story of redemption, and we want to spend 5 minutes every day journeying through the Bible from start to finish and exploring how all of it points to Jesus.
Hi friends, and welcome back to A Year in the Bible with Daily Grace. My name is Shelby Turner. I'm one of your hosts for this podcast, and today we are going to begin the book of Hebrews. If you haven't yet, go check out my intro video for this book on our Daily Grace podcast Instagram account. There, I'll share some important background information about the book that will help make sense of it as we read it together. And if you want further resources to help you read the Bible in a year, check out our website, thedailygracecode.com, and look for the Story of Redemption series, which will walk you through every day's reading with a quick and applicable study. You know, Hebrews is one of my favorite books of the Bible, and the reason for that is it explains Jesus, who he is, what he has done, and why we should believe in him so well. In fact, that is one of the two main points of the book of Hebrews, that Jesus is greater than anything and anyone else. The other main point is that because Jesus is so much better than anyone or anything else, we should hold fast to him, enduring in our faith and remaining faithful to him no matter what may come. I know this book is going to encourage and build up your faith, so let's get started. The first 4 verses of Hebrews 1 are really epic. In these verses is a complete and profound explanation of who Jesus is and what he has done. But let me just pull out one phrase from verse 3. It says, "He is the radiance of the glory of God." Basically, this is saying if God is the sun, then Jesus is the rays of light that the sun gives off. These rays light up the sky, heat the world, make plants grow, and allow all life on earth to thrive. Isn't that such a cool analogy? I just love it. The rest of chapter 1 is about how Jesus is supreme over angels. And this was a pretty big statement to make. You know, angels, they have an important role throughout the Bible. They delivered the 10 Commandments to Moses. They're present at many pivotal moments in Bible history. But the author of Hebrews is telling us Jesus is better than angels in every way. And therefore, chapter 2 is about how closely we need to pay attention to who Jesus is and how he asks us to live. He's so important. We cannot ignore or downplay him. And then chapter 2 ends with a reminder that Jesus was fully God, but he was also fully human. And therefore, he can sympathize with our weaknesses, our temptations, and our struggles. And he's there to help us when we are tempted or when we are struggling. Chapter 3 is about how Jesus is greater than Moses. Verses 5 and 6 of this chapter summarize the whole chapter really well. Moses was a servant in the house of God, but Jesus is a son in the house of God. And then there's a warning in chapter 3 as well. The author reminds us that those who followed Moses complained and didn't believe, and we should not be like that with Jesus, because the followers of Moses were punished for their disbelief. And how much more will those who choose not to believe in Jesus be punished, because Jesus is even greater than Moses. And then he tells us what to do if we do have some unbelief in our hearts. Should we ignore it? Should we be afraid of it? No, we should tell someone, and we should ask them to encourage us. He says, "Exhort one another every day, as long as it is called today, that none of you may be hardened by the deceitfulness of sin." That's verse 13 of chapter 3. If doubts or unbelief are something that you struggle with, and honestly, we all struggle with those at times. None of us are perfect. Would you tell someone today? Would you let them encourage you? I just want to close out today's podcast by reminding you that Jesus is worth it. He is worth working out any doubts or any questions you may have. I encourage you to bring those up to someone trusted in your life and allow them to encourage you through them. Thank you so much for joining us today. Be sure to follow along on our Instagram pages at Daily Grace Podcast and at The Daily Grace Co. And check out our website, thedailygracecode.com, for all kinds of resources to help you dive deeper into God's Word. Thanks so much for being here, and we look forward to chatting again with you tomorrow.